the interior. It's Emily Punn. I'm the founder of Den. Welcome to my home tour. Come on in. We're currently in East London. I've never lived anywhere else in London. I am in the creative field, and East London really does have all the best design bits. We've lived here for about 3 years now. We bought this house when it was really run down, and we did an entire renovation in that time. Took about a year, and I'll show you all the rooms and all the bits and bobs in it. So we're in the kitchen now. There was an entire ground floor, rear and side extension that we decided to do. It was one of the first things that we looked at from the design process, just because the house probably wasn't big enough or functioned the way that me and my partner wanted to live. We have loads of parties here, have loads of friends and family here. We host lots, so we really love to use this space as the communal area. These timber baffles in the side extension was actually a later addition. Originally, the renovation or the extension was going to have a flat roof throughout, but we decided to pitch it because planning came back with restrictions to how high we could go on the side. I think the timber accents that you see in and around the house kind of does tie every element back into itself. A really lovely feature that I think a lot of people gravitate to when they come into the house. I had no expectation to start my business when I did, but when we took on this renovation, did the very classic thing of documenting it on Instagram and social media. And I guess I share a lot of the insides and the workings of construction or design or build. And with that, it was really quite interesting for me to step into the residential space because my background is hugely and largely in the commercial area. So resi is something that I felt a bit unfamiliar until we got our house and did it up. Den now really aims to help residential clients to realize their vision, work with them side by side in helping them make a house and something that really feels like them. So I am not a believer of closed cabinets for crockery, plates, and bowls. I always want my friends and people to come to feel and know where to grab plates and bowls because we're a big eating family. So I wanted to create this accented open shelving area to highlight where you can get bowls and plates from. All the ceramics, some I made myself, some I collected over the years, but sometimes people come in here and they're like, is that what we use to eat? And they are very much the plates and bowls that we use. There's no designated area for any plate or bowl. We just mix and muddle it up as and when. When I was designing the island, wanted to make sure it didn't feel like a very heavy bulk in the kitchen space. We wanted to feel more like a furniture piece. So it floats. This is where we house all of our cutlery, all of our knives and little bits and stuff. So it's power enabled, so we have a power really neatly chased through the leg of the island. And it is where I work when we host parties. Friends stand around and have little bar snacks around this, so it's a bar height. Our main kitchen run are closed cabinets. They hide all of your appliances like the dishwashers, sink, everything that you don't really want to see. And our cabinets are all oak veneered MDF with these J-groove handles. I wanted something really sleek because all the design bits are happening on the floor with a very accented floor tile. And the finishing touches here, you can see lots of secondhand bits. I am a sucker for antique goods and reclaimed items, just displaying our little trinkets, things, trivets that I bought from Japan, or little jelly molds that a friend of mine gifted to me, the little plates that I bought from Etsy. So always feel like I want to showcase me and my personality and my partner's life. I love a good lamp base wherever it might be. I think they are really hard to come by, or shape that kind of looks nice, that feels very articulated. Lighting this corner closest to where it's darkest, furthest into the kitchen. This is our dining table, dining chairs. They're both reclaimed. It's really hard to find a good dining table. I think this was in a very yellowy tint when it came home, so we sanded and restained it. So now it's this deeper red mahogany color. These are church pew chairs. They're incredibly uncomfortable. Nobody likes sitting on them, but I really like how they were crafted and made and produced, and they fit the form of this table and our space so much. So these are quarry floor tiles. They're reclaimed. I love that they're such an ordinary material in the UK. Love seeing these floors everywhere in heritage homes or even outside in gardens. A lot of people note our house with this floor. It feels like a very big design choice and decision. But I love that it's worn. I love that we don't have to be precious about it. Kitchens are very high traffic areas and very hard wearing spaces. This little window seat is for our dog Harold. This is where he sits. Sometimes I say here, but really it's for him. It was designed for him. I love just taking into consideration of everybody in a house, whether that be human or pet. And it kind of brings the garden back into the space a little bit more. You see it through spring, summer. It feels like a very lovely perch moment. So we're in the middle room on the ground floor. We use this as an office space just because we want it to be close to the kitchen and close to the front door. It's usually the darkest room in any terraced house. We had punched a bigger door opening here so that it goes into the kitchen to lend some light into this space. We have most, if not all, of my materials in here. Also wanted to highlight the opening of the living room. We had used some Delft tiles. I'm in love and obsessed with flowers. In another life, I think I was a florist. So there's a lot of floral elements accented throughout the space. But the Delft tiles to frame the opening of these reclaimed pocket doors feels like a really lovely transition. We are in our sitting room, living room in the front of the house. It is the darkest part of the house just because the rear of the house is south facing. My partner Jono loves TV, so this room was designed in a way to feel a bit like a cocoon. It's when we close our pocket doors, it's very acoustically insulated. When our blackout blinds are drawn, it's very dark in here. So we have a really good sound system in this space, but lots of also secondhand bits that I've collected over the years. This coffee table also, I just think tables, and I'm very particular about the shape of tables and the shape of legs when they meet the floor. It's a travertine table. It's perfectly sized, probably was 200 pounds, probably would have costed a lot more if it was new and freshly sourced from somewhere else. But always feel like sometimes you just have to wait for the right moment at the right time for the right person to give up something of theirs. There's also a lovely armchair that I reclaimed and reupholstered. There's this lovely floor lamp. The stem and the base of the floor lamp is so ornate and so detailed. Sometimes I just look at it and get lost on the craftsmanship that somebody would have spent ages engraving on the stem. I must have spent about 5-6 months choosing the right green. I swatched loads of different types of green, and I knew that there was something specific in the depth and in the way that I wanted the color to feel. I wanted something that was quite particular, a little bit like moss, but kind of in the ocean. And this is the green that we had settled on from Atelier Ellis. It's called Amrita green, and it feels really cozy. It feels that there's a lot of depth and maturity to it. So opted for open shelving just because cost reasons. It acts more like a decorative space for us to put stuff and collect and add little bits of us over time. So when we bought the house, all of the original features were kind of stripped back, so we decided to add some of them back and reinstate them. We put full glaze timber sash windows back in when they were previously PVC. We put cornicing back into the ceiling. They're plaster work, fireplaces, skirtings, quite a lot of elements that we had added back into this room. We're in the back laundry room on the first floor. We use a space as a laundry space just because we don't like doing laundry in the kitchen. We had no idea what this room was going to be, but I didn't want it to be a bedroom because it was really too small. I knew we needed it to be quite functional, but I didn't want it to feel very functional. So lots of little art pieces that I collect and display here. This lovely radiator cover that I spent ages looking for, secondhand and sprayed and repainted in a little lovely purple. So instead of putting a door in here, I wanted to make sure this doorway was open. Added in this little dressing room curtain detail. It feels a lot softer and it feels less permanent. A little bit of a gallery wall as you will. So little sculpture details. Love this little lemon. Love really old vintage art. This floral collage, which is quite beautiful, and wall plates. Just playing with form, playing with different colors and different types of medium. I think sometimes when people think about art, they just think about paintings, but it doesn't have to necessarily just stop there. You can go wild. Hang little notes, hang plates, hang bowls on your walls, and it can be art however you want it to be. This is a little wall light from Etsy, secondhand. They're very representative of Nordic design, arts and crafts. Very chunky stem wall light that I can plug into a socket, so it's a little bit more mobile rather than your recessed chased in the wall light. It highlights this little chair here, so sometimes I will read here and have that light on. It's lovely. This is our hallway, and this little ceiling number is a secondhand item. Again, when I had decided on the color palette, starting to keep an eye out for certain fixtures when they come about. This felt very timely when it did come. A perfect piece for this hallway. I love chains on lights. They feel just a little bit more atypical than your cord that lights are dangling from. And this wall sconce with candles, got a little mirror in the middle. Again, just central to this really tall stretch of a wall. We are in our master bedroom. This is where we sleep. I really adore this space. It is the first space that we had designed and finished when we had purchased a house. It was a lovely respite and a lovely corner for us to recede into when reno became a bit too much. I love this bed canopy. It was one of the DIY things that my mom helped me do over Christmas. We bought the fabric and did a bit of a sewing job at home. Bought some curtain poles and hung it off the ceiling and the wall from wall brackets, and it's just elongated the space so much more. I don't love headboards, so this felt like a really good alternative to add into the room. And in front of it, we have this lovely portrait nude female figure. I think it's really romantic. I love how textural this painting is. I'm a little bit of an art collector as well. I really love waking up to this. It feels very symbolic of us lying in this bed and having a lying figure of a woman above us. These wall lights, I call them little mushroom lights. They're Murano lights from Italy. They're actually the first things we ever bought for the house, straight from the interior. I love the shape of them, how they illuminate and how they glow when they are turned on. So they flank the bed now just above the bedside tables. This really milky cream yellow. Yeah, really does tie the space together. So the bedside tables, they're reclaimed. I think they're from the arts and crafts period. Really love this darker timber and the little pulls from the drawers. Very articulated timber detailing is always a kryptonite of mine. I always feel like when craftsmen are very passionate about what they do, I feel like you can really do see it in the things that they produce and they make. I think adding vintage pieces always brings a home or a space more character and more texture. There's so much more depth to a space where older bits or even things that you've owned over a long period of time into a room or into a house, because it adds story and adds narrative. So when we weave items from different periods, different eras, it becomes conversation starters. Thank you for coming over, Interior. Hope you guys enjoyed the house tour, and I'll catch you online.